Well, speaking of strippers, you've had Blac Chyna on your show.
I did. That's my homegirl.
Did you see the video with the stroller?
I did. That shit was so fucking funny.
She tossed that stroller like it was like an Olympic event.
Yeah,
like,
first of all, I know Chyna ain't one to be fucked with. Like, you gotta remember, these is real women, real black chicks. They figures and celebrities to everybody else. You say the wrong thing to them. I've been in their presence where a chick in the club or somebody would say the wrong thing, and it's on site. Like, and it's like, I think once you start making a certain amount of money in the public eyes on you, you got to be a little bit more careful. Hence why you see a lot of people with security and all of that. But from what I hear, if somebody disrespected her daughter or her child or son or however it went, she gonna get to throwing some shit. Like, my mom would do the exact same shit. My mom has done the exact same. My mom has tossed some strollers and some shit at the local Walmarts and the grocery stores, because you don't play with a black woman and her child.
yeah, I mean, I kind of have a term called act your wage, where once you get to a certain financial level, you should absorb the energy,
Right.
That comes with learning how different cultures operate and so forth. Like
if Oprah was throwing strollers,
right.
I would be like, okay, Blac Chyna is still Blac Chyna. She's still finessing. She's still the finesse queen.
Right.
Like, it ain't like she's reached this, like she ain't giving lectures at Harvard. Like, she's still
No, she is not.
In the club. She still got, her boyfriend is
18,
is a
teenager.
A kid. Yeah, of course, she ain't nothing changed. I hope she figures out, like, she getting a bag here and a bag there, but it ain't like she's elevated her status in a way to where she's got money market accounts and all that type
Yeah,
of
I mean, I don't know how much she's getting from Tiger and Rob. Neither one of them seem financially like superstars, really. Like, Rob doesn't even work.
Yeah, I don't think they, again.
Tiger, you always hear some sort of fuck shit going on with his finances.
It's the illusion of success in this industry. At the end of the day, it's all an illusion.
Yeah.
And they're all selling to make it seem like they have money. None of them own them cars. None of them own those houses.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of leased cars, a bunch of houses, all of this stuff.
Not there's anything wrong with leasing.
No.
Yeah.
If you do it right, like, I got leased cars too.
I got leased cars. Yeah. All my cars are leased.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm going to the mentality of what we perceive success is. To me, that's not successful. Hence to where someone, regardless of how many couple little checks they getting, they gonna act the same way that they've always acted, because they haven't elevated their mental wealth. So I don't knock it. Like, I do nigga shit too all the time, but it's like,
I mean, would you throw something around your kids and have your kids see that? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you have security.
Yeah.
Blac Chyna, like, you saw the security guard there. She was not in any real danger.
Only thing though, I would not let anyone disrespect my children.
Right, but security should have never even let anyone walk up to the child.
Right.
If you think, because I guess what happened, like, some woman came over and started wanting to play with a baby or some shit. Right. But it's like, you have kids, so you know you don't let outsiders just go and start playing with your babies.
Right.
Especially with security.
Right.
Listen, we're gonna walk around Six Flags. Don't let anyone fuck with the baby.
Right.
Or us. Like, I don't know if you ever hung out with you did a movie with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
So you've hung out with Busta Rhymes in security. Yeah. You cannot get close to Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, because you know why you can't get, for your own safety.
Right.
Because if you say the wrong thing to Busta or you disrespect him in any manner, it's gonna happen.
Right.
And that's what I feel like it's the same thing with someone like a Chyna or something. Like, it's all about respect. And I actually learned that from Busta. It's like, he gonna be the most genuine and open and loving person to you until
if he knows
you disrespect him. And then it's on. And I understand that. And that's like, it's some solid, I don't know, maybe it's just because when you come from the hood, there's just certain things. Like, even like my mom, if you say the wrong thing to my mom today, like, shit will be flying, furniture will be moving. It don't matter how many houses she got. It don't matter who her son is. It's going to happen. And I understand. And again, it goes back to the power of a black woman, but also what a black woman has to go through in this society to get respect.
I feel you.
And that's all. I'm not knocking. I'm a rock with Chyna on that one.
Throw
more strollers.
Well, you talked about how you had a problem with the make it out the hood mentality.
Absolutely.
Well, you yourself do not live in the hood.
I mean, what you mean? This is the thing, because I never want to glorify it, but everybody knows, that grew up in Section 8 project.
No. Right now.
But in the idea, I still own property and still have the homes that the ones that our family was able to own. We still in those communities. I still so when I say, yeah, I don't go to sleep every day in the same projects that I grew up in.
Right.
But on that same block, in that same community, I'm there. I have a community center. And because I was able to go back and do things, I will continue to build in the neighborhood that I came from in Southeast San Diego.
Right, but you will not let your kids stay there for extended periods of time. Let's just keep it 100. I think you would fear for their safety.
I struggle with this.
Your kids, your twins.
I struggle with this.
Would you let them do a whole summer?
I want to
at those projects.
I want to.
Really?
Because so they
and Mariah and when you ran this idea by
Mariah. That's an episode.
Hey Mariah, I got an idea.
Talk about a reality show.
I got an idea. We're gonna take our children that's been living in mansions their whole life.
And throw them
We're gonna put them in the projects
in South
just to see what happens.
No, you know what? I would love for that to. All honesty, I want my kids to understand what it's like, and I think it would make them better people to grow up in a real environment. That's what I'm trying to right now build the armor on my children to make them tough, to give them the callus. And the only way you get calluses is from beating the pavement. And that's the problem with the millennials and post millennials, is that everything is so much stuff at their fingertips that they don't have to work for anything. So they have no respect for the things that the previous generations, we respect the grind. We respect starting from the bottom and making it somewhere. My kids don't understand that, other than sports. That's the only other area where you can take someone who may be privileged and stuff and say, if you show them what work ethic is all about. Mm-hmm. Other than that, everything is just too easy for this generation. So I wish I could allow my kids to, and they know about it. I'll take them to my cousin's house, great grandparents, they experience it. Would I be able to drop them there for a whole summer as much as I want to? Probably not.
Right, because I mean, you grew up in a rough neighborhood.
Right.
And I mean, Mariah, I know her sister has problems and everything else like that. She
Mariah grew up in the hood too.
In the hood too, okay.
Like it's obviously, I always say it's the Caucasian version of the hood in Long Island, but she grew up super broke, man. And her, and even her pops from Harlem, like she know about it. And so we have these conversations, like we want to do it. It's just like once you reach a certain level, and it's actually probably has nothing to do with financials. It goes back to what we were talking about with the Blac Chyna situation. It's the safety of, like, these kids are so-called celebrities and known and stuff. So that element of their safety is what, and it's not even their safety of like, oh, somebody's gonna do something to them or kidnap. It's more like people won't allow them to be normal. They won't be able to experience normalcy regardless of where they are. Like, I wish I could just drop my kids off somewhere and nobody bother them because they didn't ask to be famous.
Your kids have security?
Oh yeah, they definitely have security.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a kidnapping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saying, I don't think it's going to happen, but
it could happen.
I mean, you and I have money, so we're in a slightly different mentality. Like, I had a conversation about this with someone recently. Like, for you and I, there's certain things that we just will not do regardless of the money. Right?
100%.
Like, you give me $100 billion, I'm not going to hurt certain people. I'm not going to do things against my beliefs and so forth.
Right.
You take someone who's borderline homeless, or has a drug addiction, or has kids that they could barely take care of, hurting somebody, robbing somebody. For $1,000 becomes a viable option.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they don't have the luxury of principles sometimes. Not to say everyone of that level doesn't, because certain people absolutely do. But
totally.
How many people are in prison for stealing $200, for killing someone over $100? Like an amount that
totally
you spending a valet. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And that goes back, not to get too deep on them too quick, but that's that systemic issue, man. We are products of demoralization. So it goes beyond just, ooh, I need to hustle up to get this money right now. It's the mentality that we've been taught that truth, facts, morals, none of these things matter to a demoralized soul. You know what I mean? Because if I've been told all my life, for generations even, that I'm lesser than, that I will never be able to operate like the higher class of individuals in this society, I'm going to do whatever it takes to just feed myself. Now, if you show me I can be just like them and beyond, then that's when morality kicks in. Because then now, all right, now the tables have turned. My goodness, why would I waste hustling $200 or selling crack to my own people when I could be a CEO with the same energy? Because when you think about, I'm in the prison system every week, in the DC jail systems, and even out here, some of the most brilliant minds I've ever come across, they're just demoralized. They just been told that, when you think about some of the crimes that people do, and every time I ask them, I'm like, yo, how you get here, man? Just, trying to hustle up to feed my family. That's all it is. The same thing that we all feel. They just went around the system because they knew the system didn't work for them and tried to outsmart the system and didn't do it correctly. And then we get to the mental health and the things of that, because we've been doing it for so long, we've been demoralized for so long that now we know nothing else but that. So we've been brainwashed to feel like, oh, I'm supposed to come here. There's no other option but these facilities of incarceration. So that's where it all goes. So even the idea, I get the mentality, I'm around street niggas all the time, but I'm trying to elevate them to say, dog, you're brilliant. You know what I mean? You figured out how to to franchise the crack business. Who is still smoking crack? How are y'all still making this amount of money off of crack? They're still doing it. You know what I mean? And now they done diversified the pills and all. Imagine if you did something that society deemed as legal and had this same ingenuity.
Yeah,
no, and that's what I'm trying to educate, our community on. They got it. The brilliance is there. We just victims of this society that the only top 3% are known to ever succeed.
Right. And when it comes to, I've made lists on Vlad stocks about just the riskiness of investments with
right.
Like a savings account being the most
right,
safe.
Right.
And then really anything illegal being the most risky.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what something that will take you out of the workforce for multiple years now becomes the stupidest investment you can make.
But when that's your only option, that's when you've been told that's all you will ever amount to. When you're going through the freaking, I call it the birth to prison pipeline. Some call it, the school to prison pipeline. But when all you've been known is if you're a black boy, you're lesser than, you're to be feared. All I know is the hustle. All I know is to at least I just want to be at an even level. I ain't even trying to get to where the white man is, whatever. I just want to rise above, a little bit above what you think I can be. And that's the issue, man, at the end of the day. And it's as sad as it is, I think, we are part of this whole stay woke movement. I think people are actually starting to realize it, but then still not getting to the root of the issue. Is the only way that you can implement change is you got to come together and educate each other on how to operate in this society, whether that's financially, whether that's morally, whether that's spiritually, whether it's that's the issue, because we're still divided. There's nothing, even because, man, I study so many philosophies and have all respect for every value system that I've ever looked into. But it's still compartmentalization. It's still separation, regardless of what religion you are, whether you're a Hebrew Israelite, whether you're a Moor, whether you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Muslim, whether it's all, we're separating ourselves. And it's the biggest trick in the world, because that's how they control us. That in whatever belief system you follow, there's a top rank. There's always someone above you that you have to report to. Why? Control. And that's it's in as much as we try to act like, oh yeah, well, this is helping me become a better person. Yeah, but what's helping you become a better spirit? What's helping you become something that you can actually put your energy out there and manifest shit? Like, but people, we not on that level yet. You know what I mean? We too busy worrying about who's making the most money, what race is the most powerful. Like, it's this hierarchy race that is silly.